Good afternoon from Tel Aviv. This is Yahli Admati from Building the Future the Israeli Way. And today I'm extremely excited and thrilled to share with you a new initiative. But this time I want to do it a little bit differently. Instead of speaking about it, I want to show you what it is, because I believe sometimes words are not strong as visuals. And I think this short film is going to be so impressive for all of us. So I want to show it and share with you that, and then we'll go and we'll have a full discussion about the project and the people which are behind it. So here we go. Enjoy.
A miracle. This machine is an absolute miracle. I would love to have one. Absolutely love it. It would make a big difference in somebody's life, being able to stand up and not have to look at the world from down below. It's unbelievably stable. It drives smoothly, reacts very quickly, and it's a wonderful device. I'd love to have it.
Great. I enjoyed it, every minute of it, from the sitting position and the standing. I mean, it's a wonderful machine.
It's really comfortable on your knees too, which is surprising because most are not.
I liked that you're able to go fairly fast while still standing. It's nice to be able to stand up and drive around at the same time.
The stand-up wheelchair is the way to go. I mean, it gave you a sense of being actually upright and walking versus being down and looking at everybody's waistbands. Being upright to me is a great sensation. I didn't have any fears or qualms about going up and down the ramps. This thing counterbalances when you're driving up and down ramps. The gyroscope, I think, is an excellent invention on keeping your stabilization level and keeping your center of gravity up.
Wow.
It wasn't scary at all. It wasn't. They all talked about it. It wasn't scary.
This is awesome. I would purchase one of these. Even if I didn't need a wheelchair, I'd purchase one of these.
Okay. So how do you feel? Would you like to have one for you and for your dearest one? I'm sure you do. So I want to plunge in and I want to talk about the project. This is an unusual project, which is called UPnRIDE, which is a novel mobility device that changes the life of wheelchair users by allowing them to travel by standing position, and by that improving not only their physical, but also the mental health, enhancing their self-esteem and saving money for all the health providers. And now I want to introduce you to the two men which are behind this project. First, of course, I want to introduce you to Amir Gofer, which holds a PhD in electronics and comp engineering, which is ECE. These are the initials. He is the founder of Medical Technologicals, which is now Meditronic Navigation Israel, a company that develops interoperative MRI systems, and ReWalk Robotics, and of course, UPnRIDE Robotics. A man with I would say, multitask, multi-abilities, unbelievable vision, and I think incredible, I would say humble, with a humanistic point of view, and which is a real honor for me to meet and to now introduce him, and then his friend, his partner, Omer Tamari, which after more than a decade, well, probably much more than that, if I may say, in the military R&D, Oren Tamari changed his career to entrepreneurship in the field of medical devices, meaning assisting people from another angle, if I would say. Oren's last two missions were helping Amit to bring the ReWalk and UPnRIDE from an idea to the market. Both Oren serves as the CEO of UPnRIDE Robotics, and Amit is, of course, the president and CTO. So it's a real pleasure and real honor. Thank you for taking the time to be with the audience and, of course, with me. Would you like, before anything else, tell us a little bit more about yourself besides, this very short presentation of your capabilities, abilities, and experience? Anything you would like to share? As I said, too humble, both of you. But still,
maybe I say a few words which apply to Amit and to myself. Yes. Both of us started our career, a professional career, technological career in the Army. We both studied, finished the Technion before enlisting to the Army. So Amit got into the Army with BSc in electronics, computing. I joined the Army with a first degree in physics, and so we spent our first years, on the military side, on the other side of the equation. Sometimes we say that it's for defense, but sometimes it's not for defense. So Amit served, I think, 5 years. I served about 11 years in the Army.
I'm captain and you are major.
I'm a major in the in the Army. Amit is the captain. And so when we left the Army, Amit continued a bit, I think, a few years still in the military industry. At Rafael, and I got almost immediately to the civilian life and to the other side of the equation. I started with business development of energy saving technologies, and then switched to medical devices, which is the biggest part of my career. And Amit, I think, did the same. After finishing the military side of the career, he joined Elsint and started with medical devices. And since then, we cure people instead of doing other stuff.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Can you tell us, I mean, were you all the time, besides that, were you friends? I mean, were you colleagues? I mean, because I think you're going together for such, an unusual journey. You should have a lot of confidence in each other, a lot of trust. And also, I would say, complementary, capabilities. I mean, can you just few sentences about this part of your journey?
This is amazing. This is the magic of networking. We always say networking in our life. And so Amit started the ReWalk project it was started as a garage project, but as a real company. He started at the Technion Technological Incubator. And I got to know the manager of the incubator. And one point of time when Amit looked for somebody to do the business development for the company, he made the connection. And it was 2007. Yeah, wow. 2007. Yeah, many years. Many years.
Wow. Yeah.
So since then, we did together the ReWalk, and now
I would like to correct you that it was not just business development what he did. Actually, Oren was involved in every item, every aspect of the startup of the company, everything I would say, development, research, including the development.
As they say, the rest is history. That's what you're saying.
The rest is history, yeah.
I would say if it would have been a romantic story, love at first sight or something, no?
Yeah.
I'm joking. From the cert. Okay, brilliant. So
Is there romance in business?
it should be
Not
sometimes,
enough.
you know, you fall in love with the idea,
Not
no?
enough.
Otherwise you can't.
Yeah.
But I mean, still, I would like, if I know you're extremely humble, but still and extremely modest, but I want to, can you just tell us a little bit about before this, this initiative and the one before that? I think you did something which is very interesting regarding the MRI. Can you please share with us about that? What was the project and what was the aim? What was the problem you were trying to solve?
Before coming to Helsinki, I was 3 years in the US. Most of them were dedicated to do the PhD. And in Helsinki, I was working in the field of the MRI. And then after only a couple of years, or 4 years or something like that, I came with the idea to make an MRI only for brain imaging, dedicated to brain imaging, smaller MRI, not a big one. And it didn't work. Helsinki, they didn't agree to cooperate in that, so I left Helsinki and started the startup Odin that was real-time brain imaging during the operation.
Wow.
And which wasn't like that before. Anyway, eventually it was sold to Medtronic, maybe largest maybe company in the world. And but during the development of the device, I got injured. January 97, and this injury sent me to the wheelchair, quadriplegic, which means also my hands are not. And following that, I was thinking about that it can't be that wheelchair is the only solution for people that are in a wheelchair, paralyzed. And then came the idea of the ReWalk, which it was called the Argo Medical Technologies. Then it was changed to ReWalk, the name. And this is a very good device, fantastic device that a person can walk and climb stairs and like really freedom. All you have to do in order to use the device is wear it, it's like exoskeleton, and push crutches. You push crutches forward, then the walking is intuitive and easy, and you don't have to think about it during the using the device. But then it's only good for people that can hold crutches, people that are typically paraplegic. I mean, paralyzed waist down. I'm quadriplegic, and it means that only little part, 10% or something like that, of the disabled could use such a device. And then came the idea of the UPnRIDE, which is a wheelchair, a standable wheelchair, so the person can go around in a standing position, and with the uniqueness, several uniquenesses that make it a fantastic device. Like, I mean, there are, not many, but there are standing wheelchairs. But the UPnRIDE, you can go around outside, which none is permitted to do that. And that's because several features. One, when you stand, sit or stand, you're in the middle of the device. The center of gravity, what is called. So inherently, the device is very stable. Other, let's say, not competitors, but other wheelchairs that you can stand with, you are standing at the edge of the device. So in front of the device, it takes you and stand you, and that makes it unstable. So they put little wheels in front of it, but so you cannot really go out of the house, and even in the house, it's a bit dangerous, I would say. This is one thing, center of gravity. The other thing that the device, the user is always vertical, sitting or standing, and explain this sitting, but standing with the standing, that up the hill, down the hill, side slopes, the person is in the middle of the device and vertical, which is fantastic. Also, when sitting, then there's a problem. Every wheelchair user knows it. Problem of slopes of the sidewalks. Even slight slope, you have to be either you're like this or you're like this. And in our chair, you are just sitting stable, vertical, and it's very nice even for using the device as sitting. And now I have to, one of the, in my opinion, maybe the great advantage of standing, and I'm not talking about the, of course, the medical side of it, only the self-esteem. When you're grown up, yeah, and in the size of a child, it is a very the situation is very, you feel humiliated. You feel oftentimes like insulted even. When you stand, there is an eye-level communication with the surroundings. And the visibility of the disability is really diminished, really small. And you feel, and I have so many examples, personal examples, that I think I can entertain a whole evening telling stories like when we are at a restaurant and they see me in the wheelchair, they ask my wife, what is he going to,
what does he want?
Or in front of the counter or something and waving, hey, I'm here. I'm a little up, but I'm here. And many, many other kind of things. So this is, and self-esteem. And of course, the medical benefits. Sitting from morning to evening and makes you, tired, not sharp and so, but also the risk of pressure wounds and the frequent urine inspections, urine tract infections, which are the #1 killer among users of wheelchairs.
I didn't know that, really.
Cardiovascular system and respiratory, and the list goes on and on and on. Pressure wounds, by the way, you know when it starts, but it takes 2 weeks. It can take 2 months, up to a year. And I know people that just simply died from the infection that followed the pressure wound. Owen, would like to add something?
No, it's okay. I just want to make sure that what you're saying is that, first of all, there is people who are unfortunately in a wheelchair, they in any case suffer a lot of health problem. What you're saying is that on top of it, usually there is, I would say, social acceptability problem. And I mean, there is a stigma, and
Right.
it's a stigmatic. Yeah, if you're in a restaurant and you're not, and you have a mouth, you know, and one can see that you can think, and simply diminishing your, and not relating to you as a human being, like, and asking, I mean, not at least as someone who is equal. I think this is crucial. It's beyond self-esteem. It's as if you're invisible in a sense, or disform in a sense. And also what you're saying is that there are additional, this creates this additional, second cycle of problems. That's the fact that you're sitting all day, which is also crucial. So what you're saying is that the device you created is simply tackling all three categories of problems, in a sense, if I may say.
Yes, and it makes you, well, being at eye level, what forms it is you're more involved. They're talking to you and not to the, as I said, your wife, or which is nice. My wife is a brilliant person, but you start to be involved in events. For example, our main investor at the beginning, our crowd, they make a lot of events at the Binyamin home, and there were thousands, I think 1,000 people there, even three, maybe 1,000 people. And I was standing in the UPnRIDE, and it was very, very different, because when I'm sitting, I have to look up all the time, and my face is in the level of people behind. Not very nice feeling. So, but standing, people, I can notice that they address me, people differently.
First impression, it's amazing. It's like very smooth, very intuitive too, which I think is incredible. I think the one thing I was surprised about is the slopes. It's like something that, like using a manual wheelchair, I have to be very cognizant of the terrain. Like a small rock or small crack, like can cause you to fall. But with this, it's like I'm so used to looking down because of looking at the frame. With this, you're able to like look up and like not have to worry about what's kind of beneath you, which is really amazing. But yeah, it's very intuitive. Like a little bit, took a little bit of me getting used to, but after that, it's very smooth. That's really good. First time I've stood up like this, moving, like 10 years since my accident, so pretty incredible feeling. I think one of the things that I'm like always doing is like looking down, but being able to like look forward and like see like what's around me and not having to worry about if I'm gonna fall or anything like this. It's pretty incredible.
Okay.
Maybe I add an interesting
yes,
fact.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, regarding inclusion of this population. 1% of the population is in wheelchair.
How much?
1%.
Wow.
1%, and you don't see them. You don't see them in our daily life. We don't see them. So most of them disclosed, or they are not feel included in the society. Most of them, they stay at home. Yeah, they stay at home. They don't work, and so this makes this this issue a very big deal for any society. Because these people are not included in society. They don't contribute to GDP on the other side. And the other side is that they cost a lot to society, because they consume, health treatments. They go to hospital, and the average cost of each wheelchair user in the US is about $120,000 annually.
Wow.
It's a huge number that the society pays eventually. And On top of that, there is a loss of GDP in the amount of $70,000. So each wheelchair user in the US costs almost $200,000 to the society. And a year, annually. Yeah, annually. And just because they sit all day, you know, they sit all day, their health gets worse, and they feel, you know, their self-esteem goes down. So this number, it's a huge number. Just in the US, there are 3 million people in a wheelchair. So the number, the amount the society pays to this population, it's something huge. And there's a very simple solution for that: standing. Instead of consuming medications, instead of going to hospital very often, just stand. So when we stand, we change everything.
Oren, may I ask you, and also Amit, it's beyond the person itself. I mean, he has a nuclear family. He has his friends. I mean, it affects much more. I mean, the impact of this severe problem goes beyond the individual, which unfortunately is suffering. His wife, his children, his parents, right. The neighbors, the close family, you know, and the good friend of the families. I mean, it's a society problem. It's not an individualistic problem. This is my take on thing, because if he's staying at home and he's doing nothing, she's doesn't matter. Okay, but the partner is also suffering, you know, and the children, and there is a problem of the self-esteem of the children. Can you elaborate on that? Because I think it goes beyond the individual. Would you like to say something about that?
I'll say, yeah. The benefits to the family is not less than the benefit to the person, or you can compare. For example, and we saw it, I think I saw it at least twice, that the child, she raised her face to her father, lifted her head. Oh, Daddy, I didn't know that you're so high. So tall, sorry, so tall. This is something that, the impact is on the family. Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about, you know, some personal, you know, stories about the people who are using it and what happened to them and what happened to the family? Can you tell us a little bit?
I'm sitting on the device right now. Later, maybe I'll show you how I stand.
Yeah, I'll be delighted to see that, yeah.
So I have it about a year now. And it's like an addiction. And I'm not the only one who said one of the, everyone that tried the device had tough, it was difficult for him or her to get out of the device, how to say, it's like an addiction. The fact that whenever I want to feel like, when I feel like that something in my body, I cannot explain, but people that use paralysis don't understand, like so many hours to sit, and I can stand whenever I want. I have a device that I put on the table. I can stand and read or work or eat, and I can sit and stand. And if I'm tired of standing, maybe my blood pressure
circulation is very much
then I can sit. And this is something that really fantastic. It is life-changing. And when I go out, walk with my wife in the street and standing and not sitting, I'm sure it gives also for her a good feeling that for me that she knows that I feel better, so she feels better, and this kind of a process that exceed impact. Like
of course.
it was
The positive loop, positive loop. That it's brilliant. It's beautiful. Wow, feedback loop. Yeah, it's brilliant. And
maybe
how do they relate to that? Sorry.
Yeah, maybe do you want to tell about the guy in Bejan? It's also a nice story.
Yeah, can you tell what's
yeah,
who is this guy
we have a user. He's also, I think, already here using the device, and this is amazing. He always says that this is his life. This is his legs, and we, after a few months, we wanted to take the device for some maintenance, and he didn't allow us to do that.
Oh my God!
He said that he cannot be without the device. So we had to send engineers, over there to do the maintenance on spot. He was also in the device when they do the repair.
He wasn't willing to let go, so no one will take it from him. Unbelievable! Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. May I ask? I'm sorry because some of the audience, don't know Israel. So may I presume that he's not Jewish, your client?
This specific one, yes. Yeah, he's Druze from Bet Jan in the north.
You're doing an inclusive, operation in many senses, if I may say. No, if it's correct to say.
There's no, there's no borders, there are no religions, when you do medical devices,
Suffering with you. Sorry,
yeah.
What you're saying is that you're very sensitive to human suffering. Doesn't matter which color, which shape, which gender.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And even in the company, there were times that we had 4 religions in the company.
Really?
We are a tiny company, but we had 4 religions here, and we believe that diversity, is the key for creativity, for success. The more you are diverse, you can do more, and you have different cultures, different thinkings. And this is very important. And we try as much as we can to make the company as much diverse as possible.
That's wonderful. But I want
to comes naturally to us, I think. It came just, we interviewed engineer, and if the engineer, and this is how it was, fits and the qualities and so, and is a Christian or a Muslim or Druze, it doesn't matter. Or gender also. It's a woman or a man. Really, for small startup, we must pick up the best. And the best can be anyone. Any color. Green, white.
No, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Can we go back to day one? Oren, you wanted to say something? I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Yeah.
Okay. How come you came up with the idea? For me, it's outstanding. It's like, it's a revolution. I can understand this guy. I wouldn't let you take my device if I had it, if I needed it, for sure. But so rest assured, I can understand how he feels, because it totally changes his life, like a miracle, as we saw in the films that they keep saying it's a miracle, it's a miracle. But how come you came up with the idea? Because it's so different than anything that we saw till now. It's so unique. So how come you come up with such a unique idea? This is the first question. And how long did it take from, having the idea and then, in the end of the funnel somehow, having a product or a device? Can you tell us about this journey?
Okay, to begin with, the first company, and wasn't related to any disability, so it's an MRI machine. And also, I must say that going back, even Raphael, that was after the army. Also in the army, I was allowed, actually, I came with ideas, and I was cultivated. I was actually mm, what's it, I forgot the word. Um, and so it was natural for me after Odin, after the MRI company, after I got injured myself, then I was in this business of being disabled, and it was kind of I slided into it of not being all the time in a wheelchair. This is how it came. Now I must say something about friends, which I'm not sure that it is in every country. I got help from what was there, then called the chief scientist. Today is the Innovation Authority, and this is something that the state, the government helps you, and it means, well, I pay half today. I think people entrepreneurs pay less than that. The country can't give you 80% even, and that means they screen you. They don't give it to anyone, so they give you confidence. Oh, I'm good. They screened me and they accepted me. That's one thing. The other thing, they take the risk with you, the financial risk with you. So it is a very supportive action from the government. But then also friends. One simple thing, one element also for the ReWalk and here in the UpRIDE is a gyroscope that helps to maintain, using the right software to maintain stability and so direction. And when I was in the army, I knew that I saw the gyro was in this size, fist or mic. And today the gyro is a nail size. But why I'm saying that, I got help from my friends. I wasn't working at Raphael at that time, but I had friends, and they told me, they helped me. They financial support from the government, from the chief scientist, a brilliant mechanical engineer, designed for me things, but the money wasn't enough. So when the money was exhausted, with no money anymore, he continued to work. And the people just helped. So the friends here in this country and the startup a lot. And I'll say a few things about I'm married to Owen for about 13 years now, and we don't. Sometimes we don't have to talk because we chit-chat, we understand each other, and we like synchronized all the time, and so it's something unique. And the company also is even, and maybe because of the diversity, it's like family. It becomes like family, the people. And this is
How many people do you have right now? How many people do you have right now?
Right now we're at the bottom. We're 7. But also the ReWalk, also it was the same diversity and a very nice and homish feeling, because you spend a lot of time at work. You should come and enjoy the work and enjoy the environment and enjoy the surroundings.
No, I think it's beautiful. And also what you're saying is that this is, it's very Israeli, if I may say, that, I think it's very clear for most of Israelis, I think that there are much more important things than money, which is family and friends. Yeah. And I think it's very unique in this sense that there is a sense of very strong sense of community, and we have to assist each other. So I totally agree. But it's beautiful that you raise it up and that you shared it, because if I say it, people might be suspicious. Yeah. Because this is the idea I represent. I want to show the beautiful side of Israel. So yeah. Oren, I think you had something to add, if I'm not mistaken, by your expression.
I just agree, what you say, what I said. I think it's unique, not only for us, as you said. It's all startups, in the first stages. If you don't have this atmosphere of family and self-motivation, in a startup, if the employees don't have self-motivation, nothing will help. You cannot go and tell someone, okay, be creative. This is something that comes from within, not from outside. And not everyone fits. Not everyone fits working, in a startup. There are some people that they want to sit next to their desk, get instructions, and design this and design that. Here, it doesn't work here, because if you don't have your own ideas, you don't have your own input, it won't work. So this is the way that it works, and it should work.
So I shouldn't even ask you how many hours in a day you're working, because this is definitely the wrong question, right?
It's not hours, actual hours. It's when you go home, you're still thinking about the project. And when you go to sleep, you dream about the project, and you come in the morning, oh, I have a solution, I dreamed about the solution. And this is something that I think you can hear from many people in a startup, and the family suffers from that, because their head, even when you go home, half of your head, still works, on the project. So you never have full attention at home, to the family and home tasks. And so.
But what you're doing is so important. But also for our Amit family, well, they also gain something personally, if I may say, right? Suddenly they can see that is standing, and
they see the results.
Definitely. Would you like to share? I mean, I'm sure that it wasn't that you came up with the idea, you did the sketches, and whatever time, 1, 2 months, whatever, and then suddenly you have the device ready. I'm sure along the way there were some, I would say, unusual obstacles, or I would say glorious triumphs over unusual problems. Would you like to share? What were the obstacles? How did you came over? How did you succeed in, dealing with them? I think this is very interesting.
The thing is, with any startup, about at the beginning, very beginning, at least once a month, there is a horrible, you think, oh, everything is collapsing, and I won't cross it, and then you go home, and after the weekend you have everything fine. You got find a solution, or your partners, or find a solution, and everything is shiny again. And then after a week or 2 weeks or something, again you're in the hole. And again, this is a kind of a process, but eventually it's all.
Amit, a psychiatrist once might say that it's a mania depressia. I'm just saying.
Yeah, something like that.
Depressia, or bipolar, as they say.
Yeah, bipolar, yeah, as well, yeah.
You know, when now we have the product which is FDA approved, but on the way we designed 3 prototypes for that, you know.
Wow.
First prototype, and then it did something, and then we had to do another one and to do another one. And, you know, just for an example, you know, we use specific motors for, we have motors for the auto balancing mechanism. And we were sure that we picked, you know, the best motors that fits our application. And then we implemented these motors, and we went to an exhibition, and somebody wanted to try the stability of the device. It tried to shake the device.
Oh my God.
And then we found, you know, by that, we found that that was totally wrong, you know, motor. We had to redesign everything, you know, to change it to different motors. Now it works, you know, perfectly. But this is an example that you think that you have the best solution, but this is the, you know, the worst solution eventually. But that's, you know, if you know, if you're an entrepreneur, you know, if you have a startup, if you are not mentally strong, it can kill you after a very short time. And really, you have to be very strong, you know, because you can fail once, 2 times, 3 times on the way. And I'm sure that many people would have given up, you know, in this situation.
Yeah, but I think you have a very unusual vision and a strong driver, and it seems to me that you are totally committed to succeed. So, I mean, this is my, you know,
yeah.
I meet a lot of people. So but you know, no. So
we cannot give up.
What?
No, we cannot give up.
No, you don't give up. Doesn't matter what. I think, so where are you right now? Can you share with the audience where are you right now in the journey? What is the next step? How many people are already using it? I know that you have some connection in the States. Would you like to share, what you're doing in the States, you know, because our main audience right now is from the States. We have some from Australia and from Europe, but I think United States is our main, the main audience who is listening to us. So yeah, if you can share.
So currently we have a product with all the regulatory approvals, clearances. So it's a CE marked for Europe. It's FDA cleared for the US.
Which is a huge success, isn't it? To get an approval.
Yeah, it was a journey by itself, you know, doing the FDA. It was really, I think it was almost 2 years of testing and writing reports. And so we did tests in Israel. We did tests in Holland. And we did tests in the UK. It's amazing. It's amazing taking such a device and going through all the tests. And it was more intensive. You know, I know testing for regular medical devices. Our regulation is more than regulation of a device that goes to operation room. Wow. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Why is it so? Why?
Maybe I know, maybe I don't know. It is, you know, there's a disabled person in a machine, okay? And disabled person cannot do anything if there is something, you know, goes wrong. So maybe they want it to be the highest safety that is possible. So most of the tests are for safety. All kind of tests. So the product passed everything, and the UPnRIDE is the first and only FDA cleared wheelchair that is allowed for full mobility in standing position. All other
this is
standing.
Unbelievable, is it?
Yeah.
It's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah.
It's a huge accomplishment. How did you celebrate it when you got the email that you got the FDA approval? I mean, you should tell. How was it?
You know, we were so tired. We were so tired from the process.
But I'm saying this is a huge achievement. I mean, they're so hard in the FDA. I know. You know, one of my teachers was doing research for 14 years until he got, you know, Professor Adam Gazeli, So,
you know,
14 years.
You know, when you say celebration, you know, when you finish one task, you always have the next task. It's not, you never finish, you know, you never finish. And so that's a situation.
But okay, but now you have the FDA approval.
Yeah, we have FDA, so it's FDA approved. We got the FDA approval a few months before COVID came to our life.
All of us.
Yeah, so we started our marketing efforts since the clearance and until COVID came in. We made two trips, marketing trips to the US. The last trip, when coming back, I think there were about 10 or maybe 20 people on the plane. So we understood that this is something, you know, the world closed, you know, closed up on us. And so we had very difficult time since COVID came into our life. So we were in a very critical stage. We finished product development, we got all the clearances, regulation, and we started marketing. And then we couldn't go, you know, all our exhibitions were canceled. And this year in October, we have a very major exhibition in Germany, in Düsseldorf. And this year it's the second one that is canceled. And for us, it's very bad. It's very bad because in this exhibition, we meet people from all over the world. So we meet distributors from Asia, from Australia, from Europe, of course, and from the US, from South America. And this is in 4 days. We meet so many people and we can arrange meeting there. And of course, we take the device with us. We have a stand that we show the device. And without that, it makes our life very hard in terms of marketing. You cannot go, you cannot fly, you don't have exhibitions. So we try to do something, you know, over the Zoom, but it's very hard to do demonstration, you know, live demonstration, you know, over the Zoom. So this is, that was the situation, but we managed, you know, a bit before COVID, we managed to install 4 units in New York in a VA hospital, and they use our devices for a study to see what is the effect of being mobile in standing position on the health, on the life of wheelchair users. In our case, these are veterans that try the device, and they also.
What are the results? What are the results?
It shows some health benefits, health improvement, but they also had to shut down, you know, since COVID broke out. They had to shut down the study. You know, anything that is not emergency was shut down in a hospital.
But you know that it's horrible because what your device is so crucial for people, especially in the corona. I mean,
yes, yes.
No, because everything is closed. You definitely need this more. I mean, the necessity for the device is even stronger in such a crisis when, you know, you're at home and you can hardly, you know, go out and you can't see your doctor. And I think it's a shame because, you know, it's this point in time that definitely you are more needed than in usual days. So in regular life,
that's correct.
So is it still shut down now?
No. They started, you know, during, it was over a year that the staff, you know, the study staff, they had to work from home. They couldn't get into the hospital. You know, they minimize the risk. I think every hospital, they minimize, you know, visiting. So if you are not a patient, you cannot go in, you know, in order to reduce the risk of bringing COVID into the hospital. So they worked from home. Of course, they couldn't, you know, continue with the trial. But now they are part-time. They are part-time in the hospital. So they are, you know, they are restarting, you know, slowly. But the results show that there are health benefits. They also see
which one? Can you elaborate?
It's something overall, you know. Once you take somebody in you know, that all his life is in sitting position, which is current now there is a term for that. This is the sitting disease. They suffer from the sitting disease, and everything goes wrong, you know, in our body. When you sit too much, everything goes wrong. And just, you know, an anecdote, in the general population in the US, sitting costs about $24 billion annually. When you sit, $24 billion annually. And this is because, you know, people sit too much. When you sit too much, you have, you know, skeleton problems. You know, sometimes you have backaches, cholesterol goes up, blood sugar goes up, you know, and you are more exposed to inflammations. When you sit too much, you get more infections, inflammations. Let's say people in a wheelchair, they tend to have pneumonia much more than the general population. And this is just because they sit. They get much more urinary tract infections just because they sit too much, you know, bowel movement. They don't have natural bowel movement. Everything is, you know, you take medication. So when you start letting, you know, people standing on a daily basis for a long time, you start seeing alleviation of all these, you know, symptoms that you see. So this is what they are looking at. Sometimes it's subjective, you know. People that use it, they are happier, and you know, happiness now is known that happiness helps curing some you know, illnesses. It's amazing.
Of course.
When your self-esteem is higher, you're healthier.
No question. There is no question about that. So what is the next step, guys?
Would you like me to stand?
Yeah, please do. Yeah, I'm waiting for that.
So while he's standing, I'll tell you what's the next step. Next step is marketing. And the next step is also marketing. And next step is also marketing. You know, we need to bring this technology into the market. We need people to enjoy, you know, the benefits of this technology.
I'm watching. Wow, it's like magic. Come on.
Yeah, wow. we are losing the head now.
No worries. Wow, it's amazing. Wow. You are very tall. Wow. Wow. Real magic, miracle.
This is the magic, and it does so much, you know. It's amazing, you know. One small idea, you know, just getting people up.
It's not a small idea. It's a huge idea.
It's a huge idea, but the solution is so simple, you know, standing up. A simple solution, and this is a cure.
Wow. Please go. Yeah. Wow. I want the people. Wow. It's unbelievable. You could have stayed, up. You could have, stand up during all the meeting. We would have, adjust. We could have adjust the camera or something.
Yeah, we can do it.
Yeah.
Amit,
Can we do it now
had,
so we can continue standing? It will be great.
Adam,
can you adjust the camera?
I'll help him to adjust. Just
go and adjust. I'll wait. It's important enough. No, come on, I want to see you standing. It's beautiful. I think, as I said, one picture is much stronger than any. What was the, Amit, when you first stood and, used it properly, what did you feel?
When I stand?
No, the first time that you did it. I mean, the first time you used it properly. What was your soul telling? I'm sorry for being so emotional.
Actually, I'll tell you about my wife. The first time she saw me standing after 18 years, she cried.
Of course she cried. I'm nearly crying when you're saying that. Wow. Wow.
And,
wow. And your children, how did they react?
This is a great impact. And also they are very proud that I'm using my own company product. And all of that. Also, and my middle one, she learned the technical, also she's computer engineer. Anyway, at the lectures, they give the example of myself in the ReWalk. And so she was very, very proud. And so, wow. But if you ask about myself, how was the first time I stood? I cannot say because I was looking around, and it's better to maybe explain when we were to the conference, the exhibition that Owen told about, which is the largest maybe in the world, at Germany, Düsseldorf, the rehab care, and the tables are cocktail tables, high tables, to make people go around and not just sit down. And we were there, Owen, myself, and the other guy that did the company with us. We were three at the table. We have the pictures of that, and drinking coffee and then lunch. And it was very, very strange for me, feeling to be able to, stand with them at this cocktail table. Something that, well, I don't think I have enough words.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. We have only few last minutes, so I was wondering, can you share with us? No, stay like this. We love it like this. You look beautiful like this. So if it's okay with you, I'm sorry if I'm not imposing anything.
Yeah.
Amit used to stand for hours, when we go to events.
Good for him. Very good for his circulation and for his self-esteem. I just learned it from you. I'm just, I'm quoting you. We had, when we had this previous discussion, we talked about the fact that this device can become, I would say, a hub of medical information, like an assistance for quantified self. And I think this is very important because what you're saying, it's like this becoming, your device is going to become a platform for many more options.
Yeah.
Can you share even just in a few words, the idea in general, so people will understand that what your and also we didn't talk about the price, and I think we need to speak about the price, but can you just, before going into the price, speak about the fact that this is a platform for many other, benefits to come? Would you care to talk about it?
Yes. Our big advantage is that we have our own computer on the device. So eventually this is a smart device. You know, as you have a smartphone and you have apps and you buy more and you add and do, this is a smartphone. It's a smart device, a smart wheelchair, and we can add whatever we want on device. We can add features, we can add, you know, some add-ons on the device. And one of the idea is to connect it to, you know, to the physician or physiotherapist to make it a remote medicine, remote rehabilitation. Instead of going to rehabilitation center, let's say every week, you just do everything at home. You connect to your you know, clinician, and the machine collects all the data of the use, you know, use data. It can tell how many times did you stand every day, for how long you stand, how much, you know, distance you drove, and any you know, positions that you were. Everything is recorded. This can be transmitted to your clinician. The clinician can analyze it and start, you know, working with you on the next week. You know, this week you stood for 20 minutes. So it tells you next week you will stand, I don't know, 25 minutes. So it will be a remote medicine tool. And we have ideas to add some other features, much more advanced feature. So it will be, when the time goes, we'll have more and more applications on the device.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and it will go, you know, it will go like iPhone. Now we have 1.1, and then we have 2.0, and then 2 point something. Definitely. And it will be more
so
smarter.
The only question is, where are you going to have wings? This is my question. What about the wings? Come on, why can't you fly?
Maybe. Maybe.
Amit, would you like to add something regarding this, the device, the future of the device?
Just to repeat something that I said half an hour ago, that once I had my device, I became addicted to the device.
That's a good addiction, very good addiction.
Yeah.
It's like, real advanced, the leaders of in any sport, you must have an addiction to what you're doing. So that's good. Yeah. Would you like to talk about the price? I'm sorry for being so pragmatic, but you look at it, and I am sure people are thinking, wow, it's so unique and it's so rare and so, advanced, and they have the FDA. It's probably extremely expensive, and I probably won't be able to allow myself to buy it. So can you talk about it? Because I think it's important, because some of our audience might be your clients in the future.
Yeah, when we talk about price, from the first day of the project, that was one of the key factors in all our thinking, in all our design. We knew that if it's going to be too expensive, we will have hardship when we go to the market. So what we did, we scanned the market. and found the products that are about, you know, in our niche. And we found that the price range of this kind of product is between $15,000 to $50,000. That was the price range for our let's say the good, if we can say the good power wheelchairs. I'm not talking about Chinese. You know, if you go, you can buy from China for $1,000. But nobody buys them in Europe or in the US. Nobody buys a power wheelchair for $1,000. So
and
this is the range.
The FDA, come on, approval.
Yeah, there are many other you know, considerations in buying Chinese products. Yeah. So that was the price range that we found, and our aim was to be somewhere in the middle. You know, we cannot be the cheapest because we have much more technology in the product than any other wheelchair. So we have anything the others have plus our unique technology. So we cannot be the cheapest, but we didn't want to be the, you know, the most expensive. So we picked a number. Now the number is about 32,000, the end user price. And this is something in the middle. And we know that a lot of wheelchairs in that price, with that price tag, are sold in Europe and in the US. Sometimes it's out of pocket, sometimes, you know, partially covered by insurance companies. And we are going to take care of the insurance. You know, this is one of our marketing missions, to convince insurance companies to pay more for wheelchairs, because eventually, instead of an expense, we make the wheelchair an investment with a good ROI. So if an insurance company pays for UPnRIDE, eventually they make money. The return is higher than the cost.
I like this equation. And also, if I may say, I learned from you that it's very easy to handle, that it's very easy to get used to it. I mean, people don't need to go to a course. I mean, 5 minutes, I mean, it's nearly
5 minutes is enough. Yeah.
And also that the maintenance is very low, and it's not an irregular, I mean, you do it on it's not really frequent. It's not on a high frequency. I mean, right? It's not very, you don't need, you know, like.
Yeah, it's annual, you know, checkup. It's annual maintenance. Or and if somebody breaks down, of course you go like a car, you know. Eventually it's an EV, it's an electric vehicle, and
I love it.
Like any car, you know. A car sometimes breaks down. If it doesn't break down, you go every, I don't know, 10,000 miles. You go for you know, annual maintenance. It's the same, exactly the same.
I think it's the best present that any person who needs it can wish for himself. And I think this is a huge contribution to the world, far beyond Israel. I mean, any person who unfortunately suffer from, you know, this problem, for me, it's hard to say disabled. I'm sorry. Just it's a very hard term for me. So it's hard for me to, but anyway, that he's suffering. I think I'm really proud that you are a part of, you know, the Israeli community and doing such beautiful thing for the world. And any final thoughts, words do you want to share with the audience?
Yeah, you know, just a comment on what you said now. Working on such a project, it's very demanding because you have the emotional part, you know, in this product. You know, there are some products, you know, you just make them, you send them to the market, and that's it. Here, there are too many emotions, because even, you know, we do trials. We do trials in a hospital. You see the people. You see them. You see somebody in a wheelchair gets into our device, standing, smiling. You know, the family is so happy. It's very demanding. It's harder than doing other products. So this is the comment on that.
Yeah. Amit, would you like to share something? Last word?
Well, I concur with all just said, the happiness of the family and the impact on society.
Yeah, this is something new. And maybe last word, just last word. In order, you know, to bring this product, this message to the world, you know, to the market, and to expose it to more and more wheelchair users. We are raising now money, and most of the money will go to marketing. You know, marketing takes a lot of efforts, a lot of money. And this is a very critical phase of the company. You know, it's sometimes you can see that developing, you know, despite all the problems, you know, on the way, you can make a product, you know, you can develop. If you have good engineers, if you have a problem, you just fix it. So eventually you get to the product. And the hardest part is to do the marketing. The more, you know, demanding part is doing the marketing. And for us, it's even harder, you know, as it was with the ReWalk. This is something new. It's a new technology. New technology, you need to educate the market. And you come with our product, and you have to explain what's the difference, why it is better than others. You know, others are in the market for many years. There are known brands, and, you know, a company from the Middle East coming to the global market needs to explain why it is better. And for that, we have to invest now a lot of money and a lot of time, a lot of effort.
Okay, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed, and wish you, you know, the big success that I think it's not only for you, but the world deserve. I think once you succeed, it's meaning that many people are going to, you know, really have I think a total change in their life. I mean, it's going to be transformational for many people. So I think we all need you to succeed. So please do succeed.
Yeah.